Yes, so my people. Men, I want men are here. Say yesterday when I post video about wetin CBN governor talk, I dey make people don't understand. Say me personally, I dey in support of the thing wey CBN governor they do. Say I no even dey happy say they extend am, but men are here wetin Rufai talk. Men are here the kind message wey Rufai give to the people of Nigeria, those wey dey rejoice say they extend am. Men are here wetin Rufai talk, and the kind thing wey Dr. Abati too talk concerning this matter. When I hear this message, help me share this to make Nigerians feel hear that, because they no know Nigeria. So Nigerian people don't understand. Say this thing now for the average Nigerian, I mean that they do am. No be for those wey dey say that they pin Nigeria. That mean I watch video help me share am abeg.
Time. At first, what is this policy about? Let's go back. This policy even ought to have been done long ago to redesign the notes, to be able to take the off black money. What is black money? Money that is not going through monetary velocity, stock in homes and everything. Monies that were destroyed, that all of you Nigerians saw in the homes of politicians that were being brought out. Some of them were destroyed. This is value that has been destroyed. And Nigerians have tons and tons of them in their homes. Why is CBN having this policy? To be able to take it out. When you take the money out and you put into the financial system, what does it do? It gives the financial system more value, more buoyancy. Most of those monies can be lent to businesses like you, small businesses, to be able to create more value, and in turn makes the system better. In everywhere in the world, the culture of putting money in the home is not a right culture. The culture of hoarding money is not a right culture, since you have a banking system that is strong. That's why when people make the argument that, oh, in the UK they gave them 2 years, I keep asking, do they store £10,000 in people's homes in the UK, or they take it to the bank? And if you want to pay it in the bank, it's that people need to ask questions. Secondly, this will also address things like kidnapping. There was a story in Daily Trust the other day that some kidnappers are saying, I don't want to collect old Naira notes any longer that were paid to them. That's also going to check this. Because you see, what the CBN is doing is, the money they are now putting into circulation, they have control over it. They printed it, they know how much you're putting in circulation. So if anybody tries to be funny, they will know. And that's why it is easy for them to be able to trace the money. I argued when all of this started in December, that the only time you will say that, oh, there's something faulty about this policy, is if inflation rate is not going down. But go and check it empirically. It's not where we want it to be, but it went down from 20.47 to 20.34. For the first time in 11 months, inflation started to come down. Some will blame it on other factors, but you cannot exonerate it from the fact that we have a sense of how we can constrict cash in this economy. What are the steering problems? They are out there. Sabotage, probably by the bankers, which also feeds into the system and the culture of corruption hitherto, and the culture of big manism that some people can just call a bank manager and say, oh, bring me XYZ and I will give you something in the end. But that is what the CBN is trying to check by extending the date. Also, the laissez-faire attitude of most Nigerians, what we call the fire brigade approach, the fact that we wait for the last minute. It's not with the currency swap we've done it. We've done it with our voters' registration sometimes. We've done it with NIN registration. And this is something we have to change. Because, in growing a nation, there must be some hard decisions taken. And it might hurt a lot of people. And please, just to prepare your mind too, INEC too has extended voters card collection. So please go collect your voters card. And don't forget, there's a census coming up this year. Get ready to be counted. I think the National Orientation Agency too should do their job, because I asked the last time, what is the National Orientation Agency doing? They've dropped the ball too. In terms of sensitization and awareness and making people buy into this, that's where we ought to see the National Orientation Agency. But we've not seen a lot of that. So hard decisions must be taken for the overall benefit of everybody. Nobody wants to stifle the poor. Nobody wants to steal anybody's thunder. All we want is a financial system that we can have a clear understanding of, and we can make policies to suit. And that's why you see, when you compare yourself with America, America has a fair grasp of its financial system and cash flow That's why when it sets up a policy to tighten the economy, it sees the knock-on effect on inflation. Here, when you put monetary measures in place, it doesn't work because there's so much cash in the hands of people. I'm happy Dr. Abati talked about India. When Modi did that, some people said, oh, the devil and the deep blue sea and all of that, blah, 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 he's a terrible person, blah, and all of that. People will talk, and I respect the agitations of people. I feel pains for the sufferings of a lot of people, which was too much. And like Ayo, petrol's queues, ATM queues and all of that. And I'm happy this has been extended. But please, do not overshoot that 10 days margin. Ensure you do everything, put your cash in that 10 days margin. If you have not opened a bank account, open a bank account today. Let your money go through the financial system. You can argue and say, oh, they are digital fraud and things like that. It is not everybody it happens to. And the digital system is growing by the day. All right? One step further will be India. When India did theirs, a lot of people shouted and everything and all of that. Between 2016 and 2017, the gross tax income revenue increased by 18%. That was a clear example of the result of what India did. Revenue and taxation, why they wanted to collect black money, was the reason they put into place that law. And guess what? The gross tax revenue increased by 18% in the space of a year because of the demonetization policy that came into being by Modi. The argument will be, when we constantly do this, we're able to raise some cash in. It will be able to better our forex system. There's going to be a level of stability. Secondly, there's also going to be a certain level of, attack on that inflation. And we need to be able to reduce our inflation rate and draw that inflation because everything is already spiraling out of control. In case you missed it, just on Saturday, Modi's further downgraded Nigeria's credit ratings, which shows you that, hey, we've got problems. And how do we tackle this problem? We tackle this problem by policies. The policies might be hard pills to swallow. Don't get me wrong. And I feel your pain out there. You queued at the ATM and things never worked and you felt very dejected and you say, oh, I feel so sad to be in Nigeria. I feel your pain. But you know one thing I always say about pain. Without pain, gains do not come. And that's why in the next 10 days, let us do everything right, bank our old notes and all of that, and go through this process. But when the gains start to trickle back in our economy, we'll be able to build a solid, strong economy that Nigeria truly deserves. God bless Nigeria. God bless all of us. And peace, tranquility, and financial stability will truly come to our dear country. It is well, Nigeria. Dr. Pati?
Okay, beyond the details of the narrative, there are specific issues to be addressed. The first is this. People have hailed the move. They've said, oh, this shows that the CBN is listening to the people and is trying to check panic within the system. And ironically, the two major political parties have capitalized on this, with the People's Democratic Party issuing a statement and saying, oh, they want to praise the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, the efforts he made in convincing the president to grant that extension. And they think that, the extension is in order. Similarly, the APC also has issued a statement through Mr. Bayo Ononuga saying that, look, this is very good. It will check panic within the system. And that, this is a confirmation of how compassionate the presidential candidate of the APC has been. And they referred to the statement that he made in Abeokuta that his campaign was being sabotaged by all of this. We trust politicians to take advantage of anything whatsoever. But however, many Nigerians are relieved that the stress that they went through during the weekend, has been addressed. And what is that stress? The new notes were not available. Churches and supermarkets were saying they will no longer, collect old notes. In fact, children who went to Sunday school yesterday, they were told that if you have old notes, please don't take it back to your parents. Don't deliver the old notes here, even in the church, even in Sunday school, So this is the kind of situation in which we have found ourselves. So we have a window of 10 days and an additional 1 week. So there's relief, but the other part of it is that the CBN governor granted an interview, which has been widely circulated, in which he said that they've discovered that these banks are hoarding the money.
Yes.
And that there has been a meeting of the head of the Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit, the ICPC, the head of the AFCC, and the CBN. And that from this week, security agencies and all of these agencies will go out there to track the notes. He was saying that there is a tracker on those notes, and that those notes are numbered. We all know that. And that if they find anyone being sold anywhere, then of course the CBN will have no option but to act, and the security agencies will have no option but to act. Yes, it is true. The new notes have been cited as parties, not just pieces, bills of the same money that people cannot find. Well, maybe this will give the CBN the opportunity to ensure the enforcement of Section 21, Subsection 3 of the CBN Act, which says you cannot be selling Naira notes, the national currency, as if you are selling a commodity. And you cannot abuse it. You cannot deface it. You cannot hoard it. So it's there in the law. The question is, nobody has ever enforced it. What is the third point? The third point has to do with the position of the House of Reps. Alhassan Dogawa, who is chairman of the ad hoc committee that was set up by the House of Representatives, is saying that the extension is just a mere political gimmick. That as far as the House of Representatives is concerned, the CBN is under obligation to respect the law. In this regard, Section 20, sub 345 of the same CBN Act, which says in Section 20 that yes, the CBN can change currency, is within its functions under Section 2B, Section 17, Section 18, Section 19 of the same CBN Act. But if you look at subsection 3 and you go further to Section 22, that the CBN cannot refuse to redeem the value of old notes when presented. It can give a deadline for new notes, but it cannot, go further than that. However, that is controversial. When this came up last week, I was saying, look, it's like they are cherry picking, instead of taking a holistic look at what the law says. And I've also had the argument that inherent in the CBN Act is the discretionary power of the CBN, and it's in a position to exercise that in this particular instance. What may well happen beyond the grandstanding by the House of Reps that it will still go ahead and issue a warrant of arrest for the CBN governor? Maybe someone will go to court and ask for a proper interpretation of the CBN Act at the relevant sections that have already been cited. Unless we have that clarification, we will not deal with the issue whereby many of our laws give, conflicting, woolly, provisions, and people can just go and cherry pick and say, this is the law. That matter may have to be resolved. Now, the other issue to be talked about is the fact that they did a similar thing like this in 1986, November 2016, in India, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi came in. Now, overnight, the government just gave 4 hours notice for the withdrawal of 1,000 rupee notes and 500 Naira rupees from circulation. Just 4 hours. It was a shock and horror strategy. And what the government said was that they were doing, they were changing denomination and that they were going to take black money out of the system. What was the excuse? The Modi government was saying that people were not paying tax and that it was important for the Aadhaar scheme, which is a digital database that has been introduced, to work and for tax revenue to go up, for people to come within the tax net. There were queues on the streets of India. The people were shocked because it was kept secret. There were complaints that the notes were not enough. But where is the critical difference? The critical difference is that the people of India bought into the idea. They thought, yes, this was a good thing. That's where the difference is here in Nigeria. The average Nigerian thinks that, this is meant to make us suffer. It's a kind of punishment for the ordinary people. And they complain about timing. This is election time. For the average Nigerian, election time is chop time. So when you tell a Nigerian that you want to change currency so that politicians will not, buy votes, The average voter who is for whom election time is harvest time is likely to say, wait a moment, what are they doing? So that's why there is a lot that still needs to be done in terms of sensitization for the average Nigerian to buy into the idea and to see that, look, this is in the overall interest of the economy. In Nigeria, we may be talking about counterfeiting, terror financing, but they did it in India, and they were able to do it for the simple reason that the people did not mind the hardship. But in Nigeria, everybody is groaning and complaining about the hardship. So that extension has been given, but the extension will be of no use if these same notes are not available. Many banks are still giving out old notes. They are giving excuses. So the security agencies that are going to go after the banks should be determined in doing so. After all, Godwin Emefiele, the CBN governor, had said before now that there will be penalties, there will be sanctions for those who go against the guidelines of the Central Bank of Nigeria. And we would like to see that, operationalized in a real sense. Maybe that way, the CBN and the other agencies will be able to build trust and confidence in the average Nigerian people.
See, in these last days, if you watch in these last days of President Muhammadu Buhari in the office, if you watch all his movement, pay close attention to it. President Muhammadu Buhari is being very, very careful and very clever and very sensitive, very intelligent. See, I can put it to you that since I've been born and since I became an adult in this country, I've never seen a president who has been so bold like President Muhammadu Buhari within this last period of time that he's spending in the office, in this election period. President Muhammadu Buhari has been like super bold. In short, he's a superman now, right now. President Muhammadu Buhari went to Katsina State to commission projects. That is his own home state. He went to commission projects and refused to tell the people to vote for APC or Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He told them clearly, don't vote for fraudulent people. Vote in a credible leader who is passionate about the people. Vote in a good leader. He's telling Nigeria because he knows very well. See, if President Muhammadu Buhari is convinced that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to deliver, he won't be having double mind about coming out bold to speak about him. There is something the president knows that you and I does not know. There is something he knows that we don't know, and they cannot come out to tell you that this is the reason why I've refused to pronounce APC or whatever. This is the party that helped him get to power. So why has he continued to restrain from mentioning these things? Nigerians should read meanings into these things to understand we are in a very critical situation right now in Nigeria. A very, very critical situation. We need a leader that is passionate about the people, that is ready, that is viable, that is active to perform, that is ready to perform. And right now, there is no better candidate amongst the rest right now, apart from Peter Obi, that has these qualities. If we should navigate through all the candidates, there is no better candidate than Peter Obi. I'm not saying this because I don't know, but I want Nigerians to understand that this person in question, this Peter Obi in question, he has all it takes to help us turn this nation around. I'm not saying it without with any doubt in my mind. He has all it takes to turn this country around, both in terms of security, the economy. How do you want to say it? Infrastructural development. He has all the ideas. He knows where to touch. He has always said it that he knows the key. He has the key to unlocking the northern part of Nigerian economy. He has the key to unlocking the education. He has the key to unlocking good health care. He has the key to unlocking Nigerian economic development. This is a leader that can tell you boldly that some people will say why he should come and tell us exactly how he's going to do it. President Muhammadu Buhari, Peter Obi will not tell you how he's going to do it. Trump is campaigning right now. He told people that this Biden is part of the reason why that what is happening in this thing because of their miscalculation or whatever. It's part of the reason why that this thing is happening in Ukraine between Ukraine and Russia. Now he said if he become president of America today, that in 24 hours he's going to end that conflict. That is Trump said it. He will not come to tell you how he's going to do it. He said he knows how to do it. That in 24 hours he will stop it. And he's saying it boldly, and people know that Trump will deliver on that because he has the capacity to do it. That's the same thing. So people want Peter Obi to come and tell them how he's going to stop banditry, how he's going to do this. He won't tell you. Those are his own secrets. Okay? So if you are voting in this election, vote for the best. Don't vote because this one is from my place. Don't vote because of religion. Don't vote because of religion. See, we all respect our religion, and religion is in the heart. Let us focus on how to save this country. We are owing 77 trillion naira right now. Guys, let's help Nigeria. Nigeria is bleeding. Look at all the countries Nigeria has helped in the past. All of them now today they are calling us bad names. Countries that we've helped South Africa with $61 billion. Ghana, how many times have we been supplying them gas? How much are they owing Nigeria? Go and check all the countries Nigeria has helped today. They turn around because we misuse our own opportunities. Nigeria need to be great again. We need a leader that will put our name in the map for good and not for bad any longer. Please, Nigerians, please vote for Peter Obi. I'm beating my chest and telling you that I'm sure Peter Obi will deliver by the special grace of God. If God be on his side, he will deliver. Please, let us vote for the best.